Welcome to October. All right, so this year we are focusing on thrift store, DIY Halloween costumes that you can piece together. Today we are doing the My Little Ponies, which is just a really easy t-shirt compilation. You could go all out with your costume, but today I wanted to focus on the hair. So I am going to teach you how to do the hair for the 6 ponies. How many ponies do we have? I think we had 6 ponies. So here are all of the tutorials for how to do the hair, and I hope you guys enjoy them. And check out next week or tomorrow or whenever the video goes up about how to do their t-shirts. So let's get going. All right, to start with Pinkie Pie, I put her hair into a ponytail right in the front, and then I did ponytails going down the back of her head, but I did 2 going down alongside each other. And then once they were all in kind of like a mohawk, I took each ponytail and separated it into 2 and just curled it. And once I curled it, I sprayed it with some really strong hairspray. I like to use this frozen stiff that I get at Sally's Beauty Supply. And then I just rolled them back up and pinned them. So it kind of looks like big curls, and then they kind of stay up. And then you can go to the left and to the right with each one. So the front looks like there's just one curl, and then the back you just kind of work your way, and you kind of pile them on top of each other, and the bigger the better. You can kind of mold them around. I took one from kind of like the back and twisted it into the front because she has this kind of fun mane that's super curly. So you kind of want them pretty, but at the same time you want them like controlled, so it goes all the way down the back of her head. So I'm just gonna curl the rest of her hair and just continue spraying it, and then once that you have those all curled, just pin them up where they need to go, and then we're gonna spray this pink when we're all done with it. So just work your way all the way down the back, and you can see right here what I'm talking about with the ponytails. I did about 5 going down each side of her head. So total of technically 9 ponytails, because there's 1 on the front, and then there's 4 going down the left side and 4 going down the back side. And the reason why I did 2 going down was so that I could do more curls and it could cover more of her head than just the center, because Pinkie Pie has those fun curls all the way around. So then make sure that they're nice and secure. You can let whoever has it shake their head a little bit, and if any curls fall out, just kind of pin them back where they need to go. And then just make sure everything is exactly where it needs to be before you spray it, because you don't want to use too much spray. So then I'm just using the pink spray that I got at not Hobby Lobby. I got it at Sally's as well. And then I just used a blanket to cover her hair and had her hold it. And about 1 can is good for 1 person. So just be sure to do the front first and then work your way back so that you have that nice pink coming up in the front. Applejack was super easy. All I did was do a side ponytail and kind of hit it with some frozen stiff hairspray to kind of poof it up a little bit. You could take a little brush and tease or back comb it a little bit so that it's got a little bit more volume if you need to, just to kind of make her fun and spunky. And then for the front of her hair, I just made her some fun bangs by taking a lot of her hair and just kind of twisting it up. Since she'd be wearing a hat, it doesn't really matter how it looked on the front, but I just sprayed the little tips so that when I pinned them up, they'd be kind of pointy and look like she has some bangs. And then you just place a hat on it and you're good. Alright, for Fluttershy, I just started by curling her hair away from her, trying to do like kind of bigger curls. So I just swooped all of the hair to one side and just really focused on the bottom of the curls. But the way I like to curl hair is I start in the center of the hair and then I work my way down. So you'll notice I start at the center and roll my curling iron and slowly let go so that I can curl all the way down to the bottom. And then you can kind of twist the curls together, and if you want to make them last if your hair doesn't stay curled, you can pin them up and then let them go once they're cool. But for this one, she had really easy hair to deal with, so I just curled it and let it sit. And then I also hit it with some Frozen Stiff so that it would stay, because Frozen Stiff makes everything stay exactly how you want it, and sometimes even a little bit too much. So once I had it exactly how I wanted, I just kind of went through and fixed the curls, and she kind of already had this swoopy look going, so I'm going to protect her with a blanket or a towel that I don't mind getting color on, and I'm just going to spray her whole entire head pink. And you'll notice that I cornrowed her sides of her hair just so that I could keep them over to the side, and that's just taking little rows of hair and twisting it back and pinning it. You'll see how I did it on one of the other ponies in a second. So just go ahead and use either your hand or a towel to protect their face. I kind of liked that you could see the pink on her scalp because then it really made the pink pop. So just once again, focus on the front first if you're only willing to buy one can. Otherwise, you'd probably want to buy 2 cans if you really want to have a really good pop of hair color. We're using a couple different brands in this whole tutorial too. Rainbow Dash. She's pretty easy. What we're gonna do is we're just going to make ponytails all the way down her head, and really I'm just gonna turn them into messy buns. So I'm gonna start right up at the top, and you want to start at the top and you want to go all the way down to the back of her head so that you get that nice look that it goes all the way down just like a mane. It's kind of like what we did for Pinkie Pie, except instead of doing 2 going down, we're doing 1 going down because she has more of a mohawk look than she does kind of curls all over her head. So just get them into ponytails to start, and I'm just using regular clear elastics that I got at actually the dollar store. And I'm just getting them nice and tight against her head with nice clean lines so that I can make each section a different color. So just put them into all the ponytails. I used, I think, 5 ponytails. And then I'm going to give her some bangs by using the top ponytail by pinning it into kind of like where I would think that her bangs are going to be. And then I'm going to protect her for when I'm ready to spray her. But I just wanted to put it on her now. So I'm going to go ahead and spray the tips the color that I want them, and I did from 3 different ponytails, I did 3 different ones. And since she already has red hair, I just kind of used her natural hair color for one of the colors. But if you don't have fun hair color like red, you can spray each one. So I did that from 3 different ponytails, and then I gave her some bangs, and then I just kind of made some messy buns, and I used pins wherever my fingers were. So you kind of just bunch up the hair, and then wherever your fingers fall, that's where you put a bobby pin. And then once you have that all done, you can kind of mess them all up a little bit more and then just use extra pins to put them where you want them. And this one turned out really fun. So now I'm just going to use my hand to protect, and I'm going to spray each section a different color because she's a rainbow. And this was when I started just getting stuff at Sally's, so they didn't have very many options for colors. So I only had a couple, but if you go to the Halloween store, they actually have a ton more colors, and you'll see we use those in the next couple ponies in a second. And they actually work really good. So I'm just going to spray one section blue, one section pink, and then I used the front of her hair as red, and then I used purple. And of course, Rainbow Dash is an actual rainbow, so you could also do red, white, or red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. However a rainbow goes, I don't even know. But just form her bangs exactly how you want them, and then hit them with some good spray, and then she is good to go. Alright, for Rarity, she has a very similar look to Fluttershy, so I am going to just show you a couple different techniques to curl, as well as give a little bit of volume. I'm just going to tease the front of her hair in the opposite direction, and then pull her hair to the other side. Using my hairspray, I'm going to spray it, and then I'm going to use either a comb or a teasing comb to really tease it. Kaya has really straight hair, So I needed to hit this with some teasing before I did this so that she had the volume that the pony has. Unlike Emma, who had a lot of volume to start with. So for her curls, I'm actually going to be using a Hot Tools set, which is just this curl setter. You could also curl this just like we did in the other one, but I just wanted to show you a couple different ways to curl hair. So you basically just wrap this around your finger into like a pin curl, and then you use these hot little tight claw things to clip onto it, and you let them cool completely. The same concept as curlers, except you can kind of form the curls exactly how you want. They also come with brushes, so you can do like waves and different things like that. I like them for people who have kind of difficult hair to curl, because it really makes it stay. And then for the side of her hair, I just did a twist where I started from the top and kind of twisted back and then pinned it. Same thing I did for Fluttershy, except I used 3 rolls for Fluttershy's hair. And for this one, I'm just doing 1. And then once it's pinned back, you can let all those curls go. And after they've cooled, they should be good to go. And this is kind of that really pretty pin-up girl like style hair. And then once she's all ready, I kind of just tossed them and hit them with some hairspray so they stayed before I sprayed the color. Make sure they protect their face, because hairspray can be kind of annoying. So for her hair, since it was already dark, I kind of made a little line on her head with my hand, and then I got some on her head, and then I had to wash that off. But I kind of spray painted the top of her head purple so that you can really see that purple pop on top of her face. Alrighty, for Twilight Sparkle, what I did was I rolled up a piece of paper and I used washi tape to hold it in purple, because that's what color her hair was going to be. And I just cut it into a cone, but I cut it at an angle so that it would kind of form forward. And then I parted her hair directly down the center and pulled out 2 pieces of hair on her bangs. These were what I was going to use to form a hair horn on the top of her head. So what I did was I put the horn directly in the center and spritzed it with some hairspray. And then I started wrapping the hair from one direction going on one side. And then I just pinned that with a bobby pin right up to the top of her hair. And then I took the other hair and I wrapped it the opposite direction to kind of hold that. And when it wasn't really holding, I took some hair from behind and kind of wrapped that around as well, because it wasn't staying forward. It was staying, it wouldn't fall to the left or the right, but it wasn't falling, it would fall forward. So I just took a couple extra pieces and just really secured it by wrapping it around. And nobody believed me that it would work, but eventually it stood still and she had a hair horn. So once you get the hair horn in place, then you're going to work on the rest of her hair. And her hair was just kind of pulled back. So I just kind of did a poof in the back by back combing it to give it a little bit of volume. And then I just kind of poofed it up a little bit. This is kind of like the old look of a bump it, and just gave it a little bit of straightening on the top to make it kind of sleek. And then I just pinned it in one spot to give it that kind of pretty bump. And then once it had that bump, I'm gonna take the sides of the hair and really sleek them back so that it's a really sleeked look on the sides. So just make sure that's pinned, and then I'm just gonna straighten the top layer because I don't wanna lose the volume, but I do wanna have it look like it's really shiny and straight. And then I'm just gonna brush that out, straighten the ends because she has some really straight hair, but I'm gonna leave that curl underneath it to give it some volume. So I'm just gonna pull that over nice and straight from each side and pin that back exactly where I pinned the bump. Then I'm just gonna go in and straighten the rest of her hair so that it's nice and sleek and straight, because she has a very sophisticated straight look, but she does have that horn, so I wanted to show you guys how I created the horn. And then I'm just gonna protect her and spray her down with some color so that she can be a pony. So pair this with all of these shirts and you guys have a fun, really fun costume that you can do with groups. So we're just gonna spray her down with some hairspray first to make sure that it's nice and sleek before we hit her with any color. And then to make her hair stand out, I also did the same thing on her forehead like I did with Kaya's hair so that the purple would really pop. And she's good to go.